the bar mitzvah bracha for sein gesund. Could not have picked a more appropriate man for his bar mitzvah than in this kufa, in this man of sphere. In the period of sphere. As it was explained by his father, the Zangezen, a bar mitzvah is a chasana. And what has been said, I will try, Be'ezer Hashem, to clarify a little bit more. It says, actually, knowing that it is a chasana, we can't make it in Sfira. We don't make any chasanas in Sfira. However, this bar mitzvah has been appointed by birth by the Rabbeinu Shalom, was born 30 years ago on this day. And Zeh Hayayim Asa Hashem. The Rabbeinu Shalom appointed this day that it should be his bar mitzvah day. So we have it in Sfira. Sfira is a special period, very precious hours. He counts the days that the Davish of the Minyan, the Choshes, the Avnei Nezel, the Sachash of the Rebbe, in one of his tshuvos, excuses himself for being short and answering, because he says, now it's Sfira. 1 hour today is worth many days in another part of the year. The time is very precious. I have to be sure. In the spirit of Lag BaOmer, which we are approaching, the end of the Avelis and the Simcha, I will read a piece of Zoya from Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. I will read it from the Sefer, and I will translate it directly without the Lashon HaKodesh for the purpose of brevity. Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai invited the Tanoim to come and eat at a great Suda, which he made for them. And he adorned the house with wonderful designs, and he seated the Rabbanan on one side, he was on the other side, and he rejoiced very much. So they asked him, the Chachamim asked him, Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, what's the Simcha all about, more than all other days? So he said, this day, a holy neshama, a neshama kedosha, a neshama elyon, a neshama from above, comes down to dwell upon my son Elazar. He is bar mitzvah today. This is his wedding, and this wedding is to me a great simcha. And a fire came down and dwelled on the head of the bar mitzvah boy, a heavenly fire from the Oyer HaGanuz. And Rabbi Yossi ben the Kunya was there. And after that, he came over to Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, and he said, I want this chasana to be complete. So Rabbi Shimon said, what do you mean? Why isn't it complete? So Rabbi Yossi said, I have my daughter, and I want her to become the kala of the son of Allah. So Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai said, so shall it be. And he invited immediately the Rabbanan, and they had the chutzah, and they sat there for 3 days, and they learned Torah, and there wasn't anything unexplained which Rabbi Shimon left. Everything in the Torah which was difficult for them, he explained. Now, we see from here that it was an actual chasana, but you needed a completion, something to perfect the chasana. there should be a natural chutah of a chassan and a kala. And I will explain it, Be'ezer Hashem, that we know from another Makim in Israel that each person could have 3 kinds of neshama. A neshama upon another neshama, just like we have on Shabbos, the neshama Yisrael. By the belief, when the child is born, he gets his nefesh. Afterwards, by his bar mitzvah, he gets ruach. And by his chasana, if he is observant and learns Torah, he gets his neshama. This nefesh, this ruach, is like a kala to the recipient of this neshama Yisrael. Of our mitzvah is a chutah. And the Zohar says, as it was quoted by the Moshe Shalita, that just like you make a simcha and a party when you have a chutah, likewise you have to make for the bar mitzvah. It's an actual chutah. The bar mitzvah boy goes to the chutah and is wed to his chaylik of the neshama, the eishes chayil of it, the ruach. Therefore, we understand there's still one part of the neshama missing, which you get by the actual chasana when you get his physical kala. So therefore, Rabbi Shimon ben Lekunia said, let's make it complete. I'll give you my daughter. And you'll have a complete bar mitzvah with taisvus, nefesh, ruach, and neshama. The bar mitzvah boy has declared an eagerness that he wants to be mekayim the mitzvah of Sfiras Ha'einu. And he set up Shetel, and he explained that even though when he started Sfiras Ha'einu, Mimachras HaShabbos, he wasn't mechayiv in the mitzvah, still, he can jump on the bandwagon with Klal Yisrael in mid-road and continue the mitzvah, the araisa, or the mitzvah, the rabbanan, whatever chief of the Rishonim we passed like, of Sfiras Ha'einu. He is eager to be mekabel the Torah, because Sfiras Ha'einu, like all the Rishonim explained, is a preparation to be mekabel the Torah. The Tahareinu or the Kadishenu, B'Kedushas Ha'Aliyayna, that like the Sfira of the Tmeim in the Torah, to be able to be Messiah himself, to cleanse himself, to sanctify himself, to be Zeicha, to be Mekabel the Torah. And on this day, he became bar mitzvah. On this day, when his neshama gets new brightness with the addition of his nefesh, he is Zeicha to Neil Mitzvah, the light of the mitzvah. But he also is interested in Torah. And he knows that on Shavuos as a bar mitzvah bacher could get his full share in Torah if he prepares himself and sails Sfira, and he prepares himself on his Messiah and Mekadosh himself correctly. So therefore, that's his food as bar mitzvah. When he becomes bar mitzvah, he's Zeicha to Neil Mitzvah. But the bar mitzvah boy also wants Oyel Torah. Neil Mitzvah, the Torah Oyel, the Pasuk says. Seudah Shel Bar Mitzvah is the gematria of Oyel Torah. So he has everything together, the Neil Mitzvah and the Oyel Torah. And he said a pshato today, that is eager to be mekabel the Oyel Torah. And that's what the Seudah is all about today. His happiness in being mekabel, Neil Mitzvah, the Oyel Torah. Our chassan can sing this day. He can sing the Al-Reishi Yihi Yilsamim Neil Mitzvah, the Oyel Torah. The purpose of Sfira is like the Torah says, the Tzvartim Lechem, the Kraftem Mincha Chadash Al Hashem. The Kraftem Mincha Chadash Al Hashem means the one who sails the Sfira shall cleanse himself and be Messiah himself. He shall be a Keli Tahayel to be mikabel the Torah. And he presents himself on the last day of Sira to the Rabbeinu Shalom. And he says, Rabbeinu Shalom, I am a mincha chadasha. I am new. I am clean. I am rejuvenated. I'm ready to be mikabel the Torah. A bar mitzvah boy, when he becomes bar mitzvah, is a mincha chadasha l'Hashem. A new present, a new gift to the Rabbeinu Shalom. He comes to the Rabbeinu Shalom with a pure neshama. A neshama without any chatoim. Pure. And he comes and says, Rabbeinu Shalom, I am presenting myself as a gift to you. I am a mincha chadasha l'Hashem. I am 30 years old today, and I'm starting clean and new. And I won't have to blemish myself with anything which will make me unfit to be mikabel the Torah. Rabbeinu Shalom, I am 13. I am a mincha chadasha to you. I will try, I will endeavor to keep clean and pure and be kadosh and Torah. The captain mincha chadasha l'Hashem is the gematria ben Yud Gimel Shana. We have Yom Tov. Every Yom Tov that we have has a uniqueness which is true to only that Yom Tov, specific to that Yom Tov. And we Yidden also have special food for every Yom Tov. Food is an important thing. People, I think, don't realize how important food is. If it's eaten correctly, like a Yid should eat food with Nesilas Yadayim. It should be mahadar, it should be kosher without any chatzitza, kosher akayla. Make a bracha the way it's supposed to. Zip is bread and salt. Make a bracha knowing what he's talking about. Birchas hamazon. Then this food becomes food for the neshama. Ki lei ala lechem levada yichya ha'adam. Ki al kol meitzah bi Hashem yichya ha'adam. There is a kedusha in that food that the Sfarim HaKadoshim tell us, which nourishes the neshama. Every Yom Tov is unique. It's a special Yom Tov. Every Yom Tov has its food. On Pesach, when we nourish ourselves with the Emunah, it's the Yom Tov of the Emunah, of Ubigatus of the Vincha, we eat matzah. And the Zohar calls it Meichler de Meimenusa, food for Emunah. Just like a person has a guf and a neshama, food also has a guf and a neshama. The food that we eat on Pesach is matzah, consisting of flour and water. But there's a neshama in that matzah. That neshama is emunah. When we eat matzah, we eat emunah, which is the very essence of Pesach, the Yom Tov of Avraham Avinu, the Reish L'Ma'aminu. On Shavuos, we eat milchus. It's explained in the Sfarim. I can't go into too much arichas now. In Tishrei, we eat honey. What do you mean on Tishrei? Purim, we eat hamantash. Chanukah, we eat latkes. Lag BaOmer, we eat bagel. Every Yom Tov has its food. And there's a neshama in that food. And when we eat that food, with the mitzvahs that have a shaykhus to that food, we drink kedusha. We drink the character of that matana of the Yom Tov into us. The Vatit and Lanu Hashem Elokeinu Mayadam L'Simcha is also vested in the food of that of the Menhage Yisrael, what we eat. By a bar mitzvah, there's also food on the table that has been served, that will be served. The foods of the bar mitzvah is Neil Mitzvah B'Torah Chayim. Yeshua became bar mitzvah today. And we all can come together to be shutfim, partners in his simcha, and also shutfim in his being mikabel, the simcha of Neil Mitzvah B'Torah Chayim. What you have eaten tonight what is going to be served is not some food. It's not Chinese food. It's not Italian food. It's heilige food. It's bar mitzvah food. It's food of kinaya mitzvah b'toyra oil. It becomes part of your goods. It's ingested. That becomes part of your bones, your flesh, your blood. It becomes part of you. Whatever we eat becomes part of us. That's why the Torah put so much emphasis on foods. This you may eat. This you have to eat. This you're not allowed to eat. Because whatever we eat becomes part of us. Eating tonight by this bar mitzvah food means that we're all partaking of Neya mitzvah, the Torah Oyam. It will help you in your stirah. So tonight, we all are zeicher to add something to the Chaftan and Mincha Chadash al Hashem, to present ourselves as a Mincha Chadash al Hashem, that we are mishtatei in this bar mitzvah, we are partners in this bar mitzvah, we eat at this bar mitzvah, we enjoy the food in the ruchnius and the gashmius of it, and we know that it will do our message good. It will prepare us for Shavuot, for Neya mitzvah v'yayim Torah. Hashem Yisbarach shall help that with simcha became bar mitzvah today. We should all with simcha prepare ourselves to be mikabel the Torah with simcha, to be mikabel oil mitzvahs, Neya mitzvah v'yayim Torah with simcha, and Hashem Yisbarach should help with our mitzvah boy, that all his wonderful and pure thoughts of today shall be Nikuyan. He shall grow up to be a Yerei Shemayim, Talmid Chacham, and find Chen the Seichel Tzayis, the Yeni of the Kinder Yadam, and his parents, grandparents, and all of us, and above all, the Rabbeinu Shalom should have a lot of the nachas from him, and we should be zeicher to the Heilige Lakbayim, which is approaching us, and the Shavuot, which is approaching us, to be zeicher, to be mikabel the Torah, and the freien with our kala, Torah kala made Nesala, which is the Torah G'dosha, and mazel tov to you, that you are mikabel your kala today, the Torah G'dosha, the oil Torah and the oil mitzvahs, and the Rebbe should help you with simchas all your life. Whatever you do shall be chock full of simcha.
Bar mitzvah, class 1. Bris milah 2.